Brought to you by stationhousecoffee.com and inspireddisorder.com/prime.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga, the new Will Ferrell movie on Netflix, also starring Rachel McAdams and Pierce Brosnan. Starts off like I thought I would love it. It's almost like this dream sequence of Will Ferrell and his friend basically doing a music video, but then cuts to the reality of their music careers. Kind of follows, it's so much like so many Will Ferrell movies. It's very similar in a lot of ways, like has the feel and tone of like a Step Brothers, where it's like the two brothers are clearly way older in age than the characters they're playing. So very similar thing with Will Ferrell. And then Rachel McAdams looks like she's 20 years younger than Will Ferrell is, despite when they're children. They seem to be close in the same age. So I don't know. I really didn't like this movie. I really didn't. I was hoping to like it. I wanted to like it. I enjoy most Will Ferrell movies. I loved Step Brothers, despite the age play that goes on there. There's very few Will Ferrell movies I don't like. Like even his dramatic films, I love. But this one, I never really cared about any of the characters. Never really cared about any of the relationships. It's Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams play characters that want to become famous on the Eurovision Song Contest, which I don't know if it's a real thing, or if it's just what they call America's Got Talent for the movie. But it's a very America's Got Talent kind of a thing. They want to go on and become famous through that. And it's just, I don't know, man. I just like, I like America's Got Talent. Like, that's a show that knows how to tap into my brain to release chemicals of joy and like inspiration when people like find their dreams. But watching a movie version of it, just didn't, there's nothing, I just didn't care. I didn't care. Like, Will Ferrell plays kind of an annoying character. It's one of those things where it's like clearly one of the two has far more talent than the other one does. And of course, Will Ferrell has the lesser of the talent, but he's kind of the bigger asshole throughout the whole thing, which I just didn't really care about. Also, it's like the movie takes place in like Finland or Norway or one of those Nordic areas, so the cast is predominantly white. There's a few people of color kind of in the background. There's a party that they go to where there's like a music montage of like Celine Dion and ABBA, and for some reason Black Eyed Peas. So a bunch of music that I didn't really like anyway. But that was the only time during that musical moment's really the only time you see any kind of shades of melanin other than like bleached white skin, which I don't know. I think it's just more the time that we're living in where that completely stands out, to have just like a completely white cast. But I mean, there's a few black people in the background. I don't think any of them have any lines. Maybe one character has one line that's not white, but it's a very noticeably white cast. Just I don't know. There's nothing. I didn't care because I didn't care about like their struggle to become famous. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't like the idea of fame being like the only way to succeed as a musician is if you get on one of these shows and have a good performance or whatever. Like, it's just it's like the shortcut mentality of our culture globally. A lot of people in the current culture and climate, they want the easy road, the shortcut. They don't want to have to grind out a life, which is hard as an artist. And they were playing like they showed one of their shows But all they did was play like the same kind of shitty song the whole time. So it's like, I get that that sucks, but then also move, like you don't have to stay there. Move somewhere where there's a lot, like move to a big city where there's a lot of venues you can, like in New York, LA, or I'm sure there's tons in Europe that have, venues, and, you can kind of build an audience instead of staying in like a small little village. Um, I don't know, man. The music I didn't like either. Just so much of this movie, it was just kind of disappointing. I was taking notes of like just stuff that just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and watch it, but I think I'm just tired of, because it seems like the same old shtick for Will Ferrell in so many of these movies, but it just 100% did not land. There were a couple moments where it's like, okay, there's a little bit of heart here. Like, okay, I care a little bit. It also, like, their relationship, it seemed like they're brother and sister, except for there was like one line about halfway through the movie where it's also a very long movie. It's 2 hours for a comedy, like a 2 hour long comedy. I was, the first time I checked to see how far into this movie I was about the halfway mark. And that's after an hour. So in a standard comedy, like especially this kind of wacky comedy, you'd tighten that up. You'd get it to about 90 minutes or so. So I should have had only a half hour left, but I was only halfway through it. But there's this line that shows that I think Will Ferrell says, where he says they're not related, or she's not his sister. But they have like this weird it seems like they're brother and sister, despite there's also supposed to be sexual tension, which I don't know. Like, so much of this is just like the movie telling me I should, like, oh, I should care about them because they're struggling to become, famous, which it's like that's the wrong goal if you're an artist to be, or, even a musician. Your goal shouldn't be to become famous. I guess you definitely want to be able to sell well, build an audience, but you should be focusing on just your art and getting better at your art and developing your art, and trying new ways to put your art out into the world, to hopefully grow an audience, not to just like be unhappy with your situation that you've gotten yourself in and want like the easy out of going on to a competition show to become famous. I don't know. Like, just so much, like, just the cultural idea of this, like what it represents, I don't like. Just so much of it. Pierce Brosnan, his hair, Pierce Brosnan's hairstyle and his beard, like, probably the best part of the movie. Like, the whole time, like, damn, Pierce Brosnan is aged extremely well. Far better. Like, Pierce Brosnan looks younger than Will Ferrell, and Pierce Brosnan, I believe, is his dad in this. Like, Will Ferrell is not aging well at all. And so, like, Will Ferrell looking like the oldest person, Pierce Brosnan's supposed to be his dad, and Rachel McAdams is supposed to be, like, close in age to him. Like, it just, I don't know. It's just, even the title of this movie is too long. The title is too long. The running time of this movie is too long. There's just no kind of, I don't know. Like, I just didn't care. Like, I don't even know what the antagonist of this movie. There is like a bad guy, singer guy that's trying to break him up or whatever, but I didn't even care about him. Like, he's so forgettable. It's just, there's nothing. It's just like such a nothing movie in so many ways. Of all the, like, I'd rather watch Semi-Pro. I'm trying to think of like low end Will Ferrell movies, and there's not a lot. But I would say this is probably, production wise, this looked great. It's filmed really well. The locations looked great. I mean, they definitely had a budget, but they ended up spending it on, I don't know, they like a better script maybe, like a completely different story maybe. I don't know. But I was highly disappointed in this movie. Thankfully, it was just on Netflix. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to pay anything to see it. And maybe I would have liked it if I saw it in a theater where other people were laughing. But I just didn't. There was like, it was doing like a lot of things that other Will Ferrell movies do, but just not as well. Like, I don't think there was one time where I was like, just even enjoying this movie. But you can check it out if you want, and if you disagree with me, please tell me your thoughts. Maybe I need to check it out again, but I don't think I'm going to sit through this 2 hour long movie again. And the director, it's kind of his first time. I mean, he does a lot of music videos, David Dobkin. So I don't know. It wasn't. It was a bummer. It was a bummer. And Will Ferrell was one of the writers. I don't know. Maybe I'm just over Will Ferrell's shtick. I don't know. Check it out if you want. Eurovision Song Contest: The Story of Fire Saga. Watch at your own risk. Make sure you support our sponsors, StationHouseCoffee.com. Follow Station House Coffee on Instagram to order small batch, single origin, premium coffee brewed in Thetford Center, Vermont, shipped directly to you. Now's the time to support small business and order your coffee, your premium high-quality coffee from StationHouseCoffee.com, and follow Station House Coffee on Instagram. Also, sign up for Amazon Prime, 30 days free when you go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/prime. Amazon Prime gives you so many benefits, including streaming service of thousands of movies and TV shows, music, borrow Kindle books, and of course, the unlimited free 2-day shipping. So sign up now, inspireddisorder.com/prime to get 30 days free of Amazon Prime. inspireddisorder.com/prime. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!